Why is there even a need to define the spirit and the body? Perhaps they're the same thing, made of the same thing. Why even have definitions like that? Maybe it's enough to just say consciousness is all there is.
Is pain a cosmic fact, or purely mental?
The universe is complete, and where there is completeness, where nothing lacks, what can give pain?
The universe may be complete as a whole, but incomplete in details.
So Maharaj points out that only when the events of life are seen in isolation, as not being a part of the whole, not connected to the whole, do they become the seat of pain. And the only way to go beyond that is to obviously see the whole in the part. And how do you do that? How is it that you see things in isolation? Well, you build a story around them, you zero in on them, you fixate on them, and everything else in life just kind of gets drowned out, falls to the background. That particular situation becomes the center of everything and separate from everything. So the only way to go beyond this constant experience of pain and struggle is to notice that each event is a part of a larger tapestry. And how do you do that? You start becoming more aloof, more neutral to the flow of life, to the events of life as they arise. You kind of have a, laissez-faire approach to things. You kind of see something arise, a new situation arise, but equally acknowledge that it's very soon going to fall away. Maybe some things will stick around longer than others, but it will fall away. And where is it falling away into? So acknowledging that there's this background wholeness to everything that contains all of the parts. That background is what enables things to arise and fall away. That aloofness hooks you into that background, allows you to come from that background of reality. And then when these positive and negative experiences in life arise, there's more of a neutrality there and impartialness.
What makes for isolation?
Limitations of the mind, of course. The mind cannot see the whole for the part.
So the human mind is pretty much a machine of dividing life and opposing life. And Maharaj points out that there's another mind, a cosmic mind, that you can become aware of, that you can realize when you let go of dividing and opposing life. That when you zero in on things, you categorize things, you divide them, you separate things from one another. And when you oppose life, you're also doing the same thing. You're saying that one part of life is life and the other part isn't. It shouldn't be there. So noticing those tendencies, letting them go, allows you to shift into this space of realization where there is still, you could say, a mind operating, but it's a unified mind. And you could say that the things of life, the events of life, are the thoughts of that mind. I was just saying to someone the other day that everything in existence is the thoughts of God, the cosmic mind. People, cars, trees, Those are all the thoughts of the cosmic mind. And you can sense that. You can start to pick up on that when you let go of this little tiny, finite human mind that tries to isolate everything into little boxes and make it relative to its own little personal story. So when you let go of that, your consciousness is free to expand and recognize itself in everything that's happening.
The other mind, where to look for it?
In the going beyond the limiting, dividing, and opposing mind. In ending the mental process as we know it. When this comes to an end, that mind is born.
In that mind, the problem of joy and sorrow exists no longer?
So Maharaj points out that the cosmic mind is an inclusive mind because its main modus operandi is to express love and to meet all obstacles with that love. And that's very different than, moving through life from a human mind that really is always laced with ulterior motives, that is seeking a certain outcome, expecting a certain outcome. And so it's approaching the events of life with a half love, you could say. Not fully invested, fully committed to being whatever happens next. Only certain things are allowed to happen next, when you come from a human mind. But when you are coming from that cosmic mind, then you are whatever happens next. And so there's this love affair with whatever happens next. And even if it shows up as a negative thing, something dark, that obstacle is met. And that love allows that mind to go beyond that particular situation, becomes victorious, as he puts it. The negative events in life become neutralized through meeting every event with compassion and love and acceptance. And understanding may not always be there in the beginning, why certain things are happening. But it knows that ultimately that understanding will be there, sometimes in retrospect. But it will come.
Between the spirit and the body, is it love that provides the bridge?
Mind creates the abyss, Maharaj says, and the heart crosses it. Why is there even a need to define the spirit and the body? Perhaps there's the same thing, made of the same thing. Why even have definitions like that? Maybe it's enough to just say consciousness is all there is. Maybe it shows up appearing like a body sometimes, and sometimes it shows up appearing as spirit. Does it help to have those labels? Not really. Because as soon as you have those definitions, you allow for preference to sneak in. A preference of one experience over the other. And by, a separation arises there. And eventually, struggle to maintain one or focus on one over the other. Do away with all of your definitions. They're not needed. The heart, once it crosses that bridge, is not on the other side. It's on both sides. And all of the bridges just fall away. All definitions of this and that fall away. Everything is a part of everything.